So here we are. We have Frank King. He is, by the way, your TEDx coach. And so,
Yes.
hello, Frank. How are you? The family's doing well. Everybody in your world well?
Yes, for a pandemic, not bad at all. I had two live speaking gigs first week of September. Got one virtual, one live this week,
Good.
and then a college showcase end of the month. So, meeting planning, conferencing seems to be slowly but surely coming back. Thank God.
All right, super duper. So, you talk to a lot of people out there in the business world. You have your clients and you talk to your colleagues. Are they feeling positive? Are they feeling a little still apprehensive? How are they feeling?
Well, I think more positive than this time last year. For example, the meetings I did this month and I'm going to do this month live,
Yeah.
my guess is last year they would have gone virtual or rescheduled.
Yeah.
This time it was just social distancing, mask for everybody. So I think that's the newish normal is, look, we got to get together. We can't just keep the, people ask me, is it difficult to do a keynote on Zoom? Well, I did 2,629 nights in comedy clubs and that included beer bars, pool halls, honky tonks, and drunk idiots screaming, tell us some jokes we can dance to. So, and a lot of the horrible one-nighters, they didn't advertise. And so there's maybe half dozen people in a room that seats 200. So I'd much rather talk to a Zoom camera to live human beings than furniture. So it's not a big leap for me. I don't have to work really hard to keep my energy up.
Right. Right. Okay. I like live people better than furniture. I think you're right there, Frank.
Yeah.
So, what can our viewers here, they're business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they're out there in the business world. What do you think they can do today, right now, to just start moving, forward? It's been a year and a half of drudgery, COVID drudgery, and now we're kind of moving in a direction. What do you think we could do right now to really step forward?
Well, it's a good time. A lot of people have been reevaluating. I think there's been a problem actually in the hospitality industry, especially restaurants, where waiters are like, I didn't dream of being a waiter when I was a kid. And so they're bailing out. It's almost, if there's a silver lining to the pandemic, it could be that it put everybody on pause and you had time to re-examine your life. I think the same thing should apply to businesses. I've got friends who are in business, and the most successful friends of mine who are in business, because I thought about this in 2018 when I made a change in mind. I thought, what do they do? What do all these successful local business people have in common? And I realized they do one thing and they do it very well. The guy with the body shop, the guy with the radio station, that they have no side hustles. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make. My income's down. I could always do this or that as a side hustle. And I made that mistake in the last recession. I lined up all kinds of side hustles because the speaking business dropped off 80%. And so I became a realtor. I got my auctioneer's license because I was going to auction real estate. I did all kinds of things. And if I could do it all over again, I would go deep and not wide. I would stay in the speaking business, speaking coaching, TEDx coaching business, and focus on that. In the speaking business, there's an old expression: the riches are in the niches.
Uh-huh.
Pick a lane, because nowadays, it used to be a generalist, somebody jack of all trades could make a living. Same with speaking, a generalist in speaking, and now people look for the thought leader, the expert, and I do the same when I'm looking for somebody to work on my plumbing. Handyman's good, but if it's a big time plumbing problem, I want the union plumbing guy and his apprentice. So that's what I would say. Re-examine your business life and see if you can't go deep, not wide. Now, if it makes I speak for a living, and so I got into the TEDx coaching business because I've got 6 of them, and I thought, well, I could probably teach this. And so I'm working with speakers if I'm not speaking. So granted, I have a side hustle that is the TEDx coaching, but the
Right.
and
Right.
then go ahead.
No, sorry. It just sounds like the side hustle, which is, if you're going to have a side hustle, have it align with your business.
Yes, because I'll give you an example. I was at an American Association of Suicidology. Yes, there is such a thing, convention. and I spoke. And I normally don't speak pro bono or pay my own way. However, it's a big mental health convention, and I got to do a breakout in front of a target-rich environment audience that might want to hire me as a speaker.
Yes.
And also picked up a TEDx coaching client because in my introduction, 6 TEDx and they're like, "What? Do you coach that?" So the businesses feed one another, and so
sure. Right. So I mean, if you're a plumber and you want a side hustle, don't sell jewelry.
no,
that doesn't make sense.
clean out septic tanks
Yeah,
or
right. So
or something that's
so we might have a plumber listening today, and that's okay. So think about what your side hustle is, Mr. Plumber or Ms. Plumber. Absolutely. So wait a minute. You just touched on something that was pretty fantastic there, dude. You talked about the TEDx talk, and we all. I know when I see someone's done a TEDx, I always go, "Ooh, I really want to see that. I want to listen to it. What do they have to say?" And I watch them and I see, what are they doing? So can anyone do a TEDx talk? I mean, anybody?
not you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We all voted.
Okay. I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good night. No, anyone can do a TED Talk, actually. Anybody can do a TED Talk. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of the TEDx events. There are 200 plus in the country, by the way, in this country, 1,200 worldwide. And some of my coaching clients have done elsewhere. They much rather have an ordinary human being, non-speaker, with a great idea and a great backstory than a professional speaker. As a matter of fact, some of them are foursquare against professional speakers because they know that the speaker knows if they land a TEDx, it's going to be a killer demo. And that's what they're in it for, is the demo.
Right.
And by the way, back to what can business people do right now? Branding. I believe I did some time in radio, both on the air, behind the mic, and selling ads and voicing ads. And the great thing about radio is frequency. In radio, there's an expression: be known before you are needed. When you're listening to the radio and you're an advertiser, only 3% of the people listening at that moment need what you have to sell. However, they hear your name every day on the way on that drive to work every morning. And so when the tire does blow, they think, well, who am I going to get to? Oh, and they may not even remember where they heard it before. But people, all things being equal, people tend to work with folks they know, like, and trust. All things being unequal, people like to work with people. So I think regardless of the business, you need to brand yourself and appear as many places as you can. That's why I've done 6 TED Talks all on mental illness. They all feed my brand. So I think if you're a business person, radio sounds really old school these days, but if you're selling tires or you're a dentist, you know what? Blow out a tooth, and you heard an ad, you did. There's a dentist in town who's open on Sunday. Now wait a minute. It's Dr. Yang. Yeah, exactly. So you're known before you are needed.
I like that. Known before you're needed. Hey, folks, there's a nugget. What are the benefits for a speaker, coach, and author to do a TEDx? I mean, TEDx is specifically really not looking for speakers, but if we can, let's pretend I land a TEDx talk. What benefit do I get from that?
Well, one of the reasons they're not looking speakers is they're foursquare against anything commercial.
Yeah.
So with my coaching clients and they don't want motivational, inspirational speeches, but you know what? You can craft the pitch to them in such a way that it doesn't come off inspirational or motivational.
Right.
Anyway, a professional speaker doing one of these, either to kick off a career with a great demo video, and I would always recommend they put the thumbnail on their homepage of their website up high with the big red letters behind them and an arrow underneath, see them at work. So it goes right to the video. So the letters still have some cachet with meeting planners. It says a third party has vetted your ID.
Okay. Yeah.
You've been selected.
Yeah.
So you get credibility, and then visibility. You go up on YouTube. Now, you're probably not going to get a ton of views on YouTube. I had 8, 10, 12,000, and I hired a company, a friend of mine now in Australia, who gets views and engagement on YouTube. I now have over 60,000 views and engagement. I've got a client of mine who had 12,000. In a year, he got 12,000 views. In the last 7 months, he now has over 900,000 views because he hired the company that goes out looking for those sorts of things. So for him, if he hits 1 million, I mean, that's a milestone. That's something you put at the top of your pitch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 1 million views on YouTube.
Yeah.
So there's, but even if you only get 12,000 views like I had, the real value is not YouTube, but it's sending out the link to a potential client.
Right. Right.
And there's marketability. And again, that goes back to the big red letters, the video demo. Somebody has vetted your idea. And I work really hard with my coaching clients. I go, look, if you want to turn this TEDx into a keynote that's marketable, you have to solve a problem for the client, whether it's an association or a corporation. You got to figure out what their pain point is and solve that problem. I don't care how good your TEDx or your keynote is. If you're not solving a problem, you're not going to get booked. Now, so what we do is, and I think other businesses should do this as well, instead of blasting shotgun marketing, another great thing about radio is you can dial into the demographic. If you're looking for women 18 to 54, there's a light rock station in that town where you live that they're listening to. 90% of people still listen to the radio every week, no matter where they are in the US, even though everybody thinks radio is long gone. I chose with my clients, and I would recommend this with any business, figure out who your ideal client is, who desperately needs whatever it is, whether it's tires or fillings for your teeth or whatever. You figure out who those ideal clients are. In my case, I looked at the top 10 at-risk occupations for suicide, and I picked 6. And that's all I market to, are those 6 occupations. And so, you know, somebody the other day, I had a booking in June. I said, how'd you find me? It was for a group, it was an agricultural group. She goes, Frank, well, it's pretty simple. I typed in suicide prevention speakers agriculture, and there you were. Same thing happened with osteopaths. I typed in suicide prevention speakers osteopath, boom, there you are. So, wow. And I would do a web page, speaker or other business, directed at each of your ideal clients. So when they land on your site, they're looking at the answers not to everybody's questions, but to their questions.
Okay. Oh, I like. Okay, so pinpoint those websites. I like that idea. That's a super idea. And
there's
so
a great book by Michael Port, P-O-R-T, called "Book Yourself Solid." So if you do not know who your ideal clients are, or you want somebody to walk you through that, his book is literally a fill in the blank on figuring out who your ideal. He calls it the velvet rope. You know, at the bar, they only let certain people pass the velvet rope. Right. That's, you know, eventually the only people you're working for or coming to you to buy are people that qualify to go past the velvet rope.
Right.
And you just refer everybody else to somebody who does whatever they're looking for.
Right. And I think that's a good point, is because you made the comment earlier about a generalist. And, you know, you can't be all things to all people. And because if you are, no one's going to find you, you know, because they're looking for their pain to be solved, not everyone's pain to be solved. So I think that's really a good point. And I hope our viewers are hearing that it's really, really okay to have a niche. Because I've heard some people say, well, you know, when I talk to my coaching clients, they say, well, that's too narrow. You know, women from 40 to 60, that's way too narrow. How many women 40 to 60 are in America alone?
Yeah.
Forget the world, but just America alone. You'd be lucky to get to a smidgen of those people, and you'd be busy all day long every day. So
yeah, and that's what we work on. And that's because I had a speaker say to me, I can speak on a lot of things. I said, if that's your business model, then you're not going to speak on anything, because they don't want you to go to your website and see that you know, networking, motivation, inspiration, customer service. No, when you go to my suicide prevention speaker website, it screams, this is the guy, this is what he does, the mental health comedian.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And what I like though is that's sort of an interesting combination. So if we can think of an interesting combination of how to solve people's pain, that's another great point. Thank you, Frank, for saying that, because I think we need to think about how to position ourselves, which I absolutely love to hear that. Yes. So, wow. Okay. Well, okay. I have to get back on my interview track here, but I got so many fabulous questions. You guys, you're getting gold here. Hello, folks. Um, so you have 6 TED Talks.
Right.
Okay. What can we do to really kill our chances? So we have some viewers out there that are going, man, I want to do a TED Talk. How are we really shooting ourselves in the foot and not getting that TED Talk?
Well, before we go any farther, because I worked in morning radio, and anytime we had anybody on, we always wanted value for the clients, the listeners. If you are looking for a TED Talk, they do not make the links to apply easy to find. So here's the trick: open a browser window, type in the words TEDx applications, plural, 2022. And don't look at anything that has the word TED in the URL, because none of those TED dot whatevers will lead you to an application. What you're looking for is a .com or .net or Facebook page, TEDxNashville.com, TEDxSeattle.net, TEDx Seattle Facebook page. They will have the links, or you can just message them from there and say, hey, when does a window for application open? And then I would recommend, if you're on their website, scroll to the bottom and get on the email list, because that way you'll know next year, long before they open the window for application. So there's your first nugget that if you're thinking about doing a TEDx talk. Here's how you can kill your chances after you. One, too many ideas.
Oh.
Too many. Yeah, it's one idea worth spreading. The second thing is too many words in your idea.
Oh.
Yeah, when I start with a client, I ask them to give me a title and subtitle. We'll talk about that in a second. Give me a 15-word, no more elevator pitch. And then give me 3 sentences describing your idea. And they almost have a hernia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because
I
most
hear
people
you.
are passionate about it. They know they got a head full of knowledge about it. How do I boil it down to 3 sentences? Well, I think the selection committee figures you can boil it down to 3 sentences. You can do it in 12 to 18 minutes. Okay. So that kills your chances. The third is if your pitch lacks creativity. Think about this. They get a couple hundred applications minimum. Seattle TEDx apparently gets 500 or 600. So whatever you put in those first couple of boxes, better grab them by the lapels and not let go, because they're not looking for a reason to give you an audition. They're looking for the first reason not to, throw you in the no pile, go to the next one, because they got a couple hundred to go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to slow them down. So the creativity. I've got a friend who bought TEDx coaching from a big company, and it's a good company, and they do a decent job, and they get a lot of. Although I've been getting a number of their clients, but they give you 1 Zoom a week, some group Zooms, you fill in a form, and then they submit that. Well, she submitted 80 times, 80, and nothing. No audition, no TEDx. I said, Amy, it's a good topic. You got a book on Amazon that's a bestseller on the topic. Let me see the app. She sent me what she was sending them. I said, can I monkey with it? She said, yes. So I
Please
did.
do. Yes.
And then 5 applications. She got Beacon Street, TEDx Beacon Street, Boston. 5. 80 of them had not even looked at her. But I having been a writer for Leno for 20 years and a comedian for 35, and I believe that my creativity is the flip side of my crazy, then I'm creative. You have to get their attention. For example, my 4th talk was called Suicide, the Secret of My Success. Dead man talking. Okay, suicide, the secret of my success is counterintuitive. It makes you stop in your tracks and go, what? And then Dead Man Talking is a play on Dead Man Walking, the book and the movie. And they called and said, they didn't even email. They called and said, you're on. I said, the audition? They go, no, you're on. My 5th one was called Mental Health and the Orgasm, Treat Your Depression Single-Handedly. Okay, it took 16 tries, because I knew not every TEDx committee would think that was funny.
Yeah.
But I knew the one that did would think it was the best thing they'd ever heard. And again, I got a phone call. You're on. Audition? No, you're going to be on stage. So that told me that with a couple of applications, you have got whatever it's got to come screaming through.
Okay. Yeah.
And so they keep reading down the page, why are you the person? Because they're going to ask you, why are you the person? And then they ask you, why would anybody care? I've got a client who's doing a talk on divorce in Orange County, California. And Aliso Viejo, California. She's the amicable divorce lady, and she's going to do a TEDx on how to have an amicable divorce. So we looked up Aliso Viejo, California divorce rate. It is 72%. It's 32% above the national average. Is there any place better for her to do that talk than Aliso Viejo? Because when they ask her, why do you think it'd be good for Aliso Viejo? She said, well, because the national rate is 40%. In Aliso Viejo, it's 72%. I think it's relevant. So again, so you got too many ideas, too many words, not creative enough, choosing the wrong coach. I meet with my clients once a week for an hour, unlimited text and email. It's brainstorming every time. No forms to fill out, none of that nonsense. Also, only applying to a couple of TEDx. I've got several clients who applied several times, mostly in their local area. Didn't get it, figured couldn't be done. Well, A, it's a numbers game. B, you need to apply everywhere and anywhere. I've never done one that I could drive my car to. I've had to fly to every last one of them.
Yeah.
But, except I did one virtual on 27th of June, so I did it in my living room, but the rest of them I had to fly to. So that's a mistake, is not applying. If somebody's looking for a suicide prevention speaker, I want them to come looking specifically for me, or for a divorce mediator speaker, my divorce client, the divorce whisperer or whatever. So that my goal, it's a long game to get to the point where, especially if you're not a celebrity, to get to the point where they're beginning to look specific. And I've had it happen a couple of times in the last 7 years, not near as many times as I'd like, but it's happened.
Yeah.
So that's you need to be, and if you're going to put something in your TEDx application, credential wise, make sure it's something that they can check. I mean, you can BS all you want, but if they can't check that you've got it, for example, if I am applying, I'll say I've got 6 TED Talks, and they can easily check that.
Right.
So whatever credentials you put down there,
okay,
make sure that they can, because they're going to go look at it. And also, careful with your rest of your social media, because younger people nowadays, when they see somebody's name, they go straight to social media, check them out.
Sure.
And think about this, TEDx, they're going to put that thing up on YouTube, and they're going to advertise it on social media. So they want to know that I've got 24,500 connections on LinkedIn, 5,000 on Facebook. They want to, which for my friends my age of 64 and a half, they're ready to quit. Because, I think about getting on LinkedIn. That ship sailed a long time ago, brother.
You think about that. That's good.
Thinking, yeah. Well, a lot of my compatriots of my age group, they said, I'm not speaking virtually. I'm retiring. I'm done.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, they wouldn't make the adjustment. And so, but I didn't have I've got a mortgage. I haven't got any choice. So.
Well, you're a young dude, 64. That you're just a pupster there, Frank. So we appreciate you having all this energy and all this great content. This has been really great. Great information. So Frank, if I could, I'm gonna share my screen with our viewers, and we're gonna let them know how to get a hold of you. So this is Frank King. This is our guest today at Frank at yourtedxcoach.com, and his website, yourtedxcoach.com. That's how you get a hold of Frank. You have questions, you want to talk to him about this. He's clearly, I would say, a qualified dude to talk to. So you want to talk to Frank about this stuff. If you are interested in doing a TED Talk, here you go. Great information. If you ever want to ask questions about my coaching, I coach women entrepreneurs. And I help them find their value, because women, we undervalue ourselves. We have great experience, great knowledge. We have information to share with others. Don't undervalue yourselves. So we want to get our value. We want to find our perfect client, and then we go out and change the world. So there's my information as well. So Frank, Wowie Kazoo, thank you so much for being here. I love it. This information has been invaluable for our folks. We will see you guys next Tuesday on Business Inspiration. Everybody have a great, great day.